The Green Bay Packers select Kevin King, defensive back, Washington.
Well, there he is, Kevin King, one of the corners we thought might go in the first round. Doesn't have to wait much longer. Just the first pick of the second round out of Oakland. Played safety, nickel, and outside corner for the Huskies. Fastest three-cone drill and the 20-yard shuttle at the 2017 Combine. And he says he studies cornerback Richard Sherman, who's also 6'3". And, you know, he wasn't picked in the first round, and it was an upset thing, and people wondered, would he stay in the green room? Check out what Kevin King had to say on Twitter. When people are like, are you still going to be there in the green? He says, LOL, man, I came here to walk my mom and dad down the ramp carpet, hear my name called, and get that hat. They ain't getting rid of me that easy. Good for you, Kevin King. He stuck it out. He didn't have to stay here long, Mel, and show us why.
I'll tell you what really helped Kevin King, I believe, was Sidney Jones, who unfortunately was injured, and Buda Baker, because they brought eyes to that secondary, pressure on Kevin King to step up. You're not going to attack Sidney Jones. You're going to go after the other corner. He was up to the task. He's got great length. Who had the ability here down the field to make a play. You talk about ball skills for a defensive back. When there's an opportunity for a turnover, he gets it. 6 career interceptions. Led the Huskies with 13 pass breakups this past season. He's got the length. He's got the athletic ability. He will stick his nose in there and make a tackle, as you see right there against USC and the Trojans. Consistently this year, he got your attention because teams tried to exploit him in coverage. Look at that one-handed interception there in the end zone. And Todd, time and time again, when they went after Kevin King, quarterbacks live to pay the price.
Yeah, and Don Capers, they want length and they want speed, and Kevin King brings both of those things. 6'3", 32-inch arms, 4'4", 340. I think everyone kind of thought that he was more of a 4'5" type of corner. This guy is long, and that helps in press coverage, and I think he's a really good fit.
If you just look at the metrics on this guy, he should have went in the first round. I think the fact is, though, he doesn't play that way all the time, and I think that's what pushed him down here to the top of the second. And look, he ran a 3.89 short shuttle. That's sub 4-second short shuttle. That's unreal for 6'3". Yeah. But he doesn't play that way, I think. But we'll see what happens here now.
By the way, his coach in high school was former Pro Bowl linebacker Hardy Nickerson. So he got an early education of what it meant to be a pro. But
with the 34th pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Cam Robinson, tackle, Alabama.
Well, to the point that you guys were talking about, right now, the first 2 picks of the second round are players that could have easily been taken in the first round. Cam Robinson would have been one of those players. 2-time first-team All-SEC pick, consensus All-American as a junior last season. In 2016, became the 4th Alabama player to take home the Outland Trophy, which goes to the nation's top interior lineman. And now he's the 6th. There have been 5 Alabama offensive linemen that have been first-round picks. He is now in the second round, but he joins a long list of outstanding players on that offensive line from Alabama. Of course, had the issues this past summer where he was arrested with a teammate, charged with possession of marijuana and a firearm. One of those firearms turned out to be allegedly stolen, but again, those charges were eventually dropped. Insufficient evidence, and maybe that's one of the reasons why Cam Robinson dropped into the second round. But Mel, you alluded to it earlier, one of the reasons they're trying to get things going for Leonard Fournette is they got Cam Robinson there.
He is a mauler, and I think that's what Tom Coughlin wants. You draft Leonard Fournette, you need a strong, experienced run blocker. When his technique is sound, he is dynamic. He's had some minor injury issues the last 2 years, but Cam Robinson will help that Jaguar offensive line.
And help Leonard Fournette do things that Leonard Fournette wants to do.
Philosophy change there.
Absolutely. Jaguars have picked Cam. Seattle is next on the clock.
With the 35th pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Malik McDowell, defensive tackle, Michigan State.
Well, what a perfect player to get into Seattle and learn around some great defenseman linemen like Michael Bennett, Todd.
This is a good place for him. Let's put it that way. Let's start off with a positive. I think Malik McDowell physically, from a talent perspective, is the best interior pass rusher in this draft, just in terms of his skills. He's long, 6'6", 295 pounds. He's fast. He ran a 4.85 at almost 300 pounds. It's ridiculous. 34 3/4-inch arms, which is outstanding. And when he uses them properly, does a great job of keeping offensive linemen off his body. He explodes off the line. He's twitchy. He's a freakish athlete, as I said, and he has the bend and closing burst that you look for in an elite pass rusher. Now, you put on the Notre Dame tape from this past year, and you say, wow. I mean, I'll take him in the top 10. You put on the tapes as they go in the 7-game losing streak, and each one starts to get worse and worse. Lewis, to me, this is all about how you manage him, because the effort is up and down and really drives you crazy.
Exactly, and he's going to the program where they'll manage him, but they'll allow him to be himself. But they're going to try and get him to toe the line. Here, what they're going to have to do first and foremost is kind of get him straightened out at defensive tackle, because look, his stance right now, that's just not the stance you really want him in here as far as being able to get off the football and play the run here. And he's going to a place where they teach defensive linemen how to get off the rock, play the run on the way to the passer, but still play with gap integrity. They're going to have to get on him to do that. They're going to have to get on him in order to play more sound fundamentally, play more consistent with pad level. You can't get blown off the ball like that against the double team. But I'll tell you what, this is a team now that had 42 sacks last year, but only 7 of them came from players that lined up at D-tackle. That's exactly why they need this profile of player. This is the exact kind of place that can really take in free spirit like this and kind of shape him into what they want him to be.
With a talent like that, you should not be a second-round draft choice. You should be a top 10 pick. He was a classic underachiever midway through on until the end of the season.
Well, they handle free spirits pretty well in Seattle.